I'm Anne Asis-Carilo, sitting in for Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, the humanitarian contingent sent by the Philippines to earthquake-hit Myanmar is back home. Pope Francis making another surprise appearance in St. Peter's Basilica to greet pilgrims on Palm Sunday. Rory McIlroy wins the Masters playoff to become the sixth golfer to claim the career Grand Slam. And the highlights in this year's Manila International Auto Show. Passengers continue to flock to transport terminals this Holy Monday. Paulo Barcelon is on the scene for us at the PITX, and he joins us live for updates over there. Paulo, how many passengers have arrived there so far?
Hi, Anne. As of 11 o'clock this morning, over 61,000 passengers have already arrived in the PITX, and that number is expected to double by early evening as some who are avoiding the rush on Wednesday are already going to various provinces. Earlier this morning, and Transport Secretary Vince Dizon inspected the PITX alongside officials from the LTO and the LTFRB. He noted that terminals should have intermodal connectivity to encourage better transfers between modes of transport, such as from buses to jeeps and even the LRT.
Kaya nga, pinautos ko na meron tayong North Terminal Exchange. Sa Norte naman. Ito sa South, dapat meron din tayo sa North. No, merong ginagawa ngayon na para for PPP sa Valenzuela. So pinapamadali ko na yon.
Over 1,000 buses are now given special permits to allow them to ferry more passengers to different provinces. Transport regulators are already deployed here at the PITX to ensure that permits are quickly issued and buses can move faster. Since the weekend, and trips to Bicol and the Caraga region in the PITX are already fully booked due to the rush of online reservations, and walk-in or chance passengers will only be allowed at bus companies' discretion. Now, Anne, earlier, Dizon also inspected the Manila North Port and found that an unnamed shipping line had been overselling tickets. Dizon said that they will make the company accountable for its actions, saying that these may lead to overloading and potential disasters at sea. Now, the Philippine Ports Authority, the Coast Guard, and the Marina earlier said that they are strictly monitoring passenger loads at ports. Back here at the PITX, and travelers are advised to avoid bringing excess baggages as well as prohibited items such as flammable objects, firecrackers, and bladed weapons. And for those of you who are traveling on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Black Saturday, additional EDSA carousel buses will also be deployed for commuters. And
Paolo, let's talk about passenger comfort, especially amid the summer heat. You know, the heat indices here in the country, especially in Metro Manila, have been insanely high the past couple of weeks. Now, is the DOTR doing something to address ventilation in PUVs?
Great question there, Anne. The Transport Department, particularly Secretary Dizon, said earlier that he is looking into making sure that public utility buses, whether it's traveling in the metro or traveling to different provinces, have air conditioning or proper ventilation. The same goes for TNVSs or taxis. It's to make sure, Anne, that our passengers are well and truly ventilated when they board public vehicles. And maybe just to add, if you're traveling, if you're riding a bus or public transport in this hot and humid Holy Week, that's according to Pagasa's weather forecast, please do wear comfortable clothes so that you won't be sweating too much, and drink lots of water whenever you're traveling or boarding, especially if you're going for a long trip like the ones going to Bicol, or if you're taking a ship. Anne?
Thank you very much, Paulo. Paulo Barcelon right there, reporting live from the PITX. Now it's all hands on deck for security forces to ensure safety this Holy Week. Some 10,000 police officers are deployed in Metro Manila, with most of them manning churches, recreational spaces, and managing traffic. Hundreds will also be stationed at entry points and checkpoints. The Philippine Coast Guard heightening security measures as well. 17,000 PCG personnel are deployed, with rescuers on standby to assist at popular tourist destinations. Meanwhile, the National Telecommunications Commission assures the public it is ready to extend help. The agency has directed all regional directors to coordinate with disaster risk officials, civic action groups, and even amateur radio groups to provide necessary assistance within their jurisdiction. The humanitarian contingent sent by the Philippines to earthquake-hit Myanmar is back in the country. 89 volunteers from various government agencies were welcomed at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City. Officials say they were able to assist more than 1,000 patients during the mission in Myanmar. The March 28th tremor killed more than 3,600 people, including 2 Filipinos. Over 5,000 others were injured. A twist in the lead-up to the May 12 elections as PDP Laban President Senator Robin Padilla endorses Senator Amy Marcos. But Padilla clarifies his position does not necessarily reflect that of his Duterte-led political party. Hannah T. reports.
Senator Robin Padilla makes his position clear. His endorsement of Senator Amy Marcos is personal, not political.
Iboto si Senator Amy.
This is after Marcos posted a video on Facebook showing Padilla raising her hand in support. The two had a brief conversation about Mindanao's industry, with Marcos saying her initials are in line with her advocacies to the region. The clip fueled talks of a political shift since Padilla currently serves as president of PDP Laban. But in a follow-up post, Padilla clarifies his support for Marcos and former Senator Gringo Honasan is rooted in personal ties that go way back, long before politics. He says there's no formal endorsement from PDP Laban, nor from former President Rodrigo Duterte, who chairs the party. PDP Laban currently pushes its own Senate slate known as the Duterte, which does not include Marcos or Honasan. Padilla's endorsement comes weeks after Senator Amy withdrew from the administration-backed Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas. She earlier said she couldn't stand on the same platform with other admin candidates after her brother, President Bongbong Marcos, repeatedly left her out in campaign events. She also skipped a few sorties in protest of former President Duterte's arrest. Following her exit, she then led the Senate probe into how FPRRD was turned over to the ICC, further sharpening rifts within the Marcos Duterte camps. Still, Padilla says his trust in Senator Amy remains unchanged, describing her as loyal to the country, just like the PDP Laban senatorial slate, regardless of who sits in power. Hannah T., Billionario News Channel.
Ukraine calling for a tough international response against Russia. That's after a Russian missile strike in the northern city of Sumy left at least 34 dead and over 100 others wounded. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemns the attack, which he described as terrorism. Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022 and reportedly now controls 20% of Kyiv's territory in the east and south.
Війни закінчуються, коли про злочини війни.
The attack hit the center of the city on Palm Sunday. Only filthy scoundrels can act like this. Today, many state leaders, diplomats, regular people with big hearts express their sympathy towards Ukrainians. They condemn the Russian attack.
European leaders also condemning the Russian missile strike on Sumy. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen calls the attack cruel and barbaric and a blatant violation of international law. She adds Europe stands with Ukraine and President Zelensky. French President Emmanuel Macron also expressing solidarity with Ukraine. Macron also slams what he calls Russia's disregard for human lives. For German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, the attack proves Russia was never ready for peace. He says the war will not end until Russia agrees to a comprehensive ceasefire. Pope Francis makes another surprise public appearance, this time at the end of a Palm Sunday service in St. Peter's Basilica. And in a further positive sign of his health recovery, the Pope was not receiving oxygen via a small nasal hose. Francis first took a moment to pray in front of the main altar before later greeting the crowds. The 88-year-old pontiff was advised by doctors to take 2 months rest after recently spending 5 weeks in hospital due to double pneumonia. It is still unclear how much he will participate in the Holy Week. Now over to Thailand, where thousands of revelers celebrate the country's traditional New Year with water fights. Locals and tourists alike joyfully blasted water while dancing to music amid the sweltering April heat. The festival is often dubbed the world's biggest water fight. It is held as a symbol of cleansing and renewal and traditionally signals the end of the dry season and the beginning of a new agricultural cycle.
Well, it's very fun because in the Netherlands we don't have something like this. In the New Year's it's for us just firework and drinking. This is totally different and we didn't know what to expect, but it's very fun. I love it. I love the water. I love the vibe that is in the city, so it's very fun.
And in Japan, where the much-awaited World Expo 2025 gets underway. The event is showcasing cutting-edge innovations in technology, sustainability, and international collaboration. With the theme Designing Future Society for Our Lives, it aims to bring together over 160 nations to address pressing global challenges and co-create a better future for all. World Expo 2025 is being held in Osaka and will run until October. We are taking a break. Up ahead, Rory McIlroy becomes the 6th golfer to achieve a career Grand Slam. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. Rory McIlroy completed a career Grand Slam at last with a dramatic victory at the 2025 U.S. Masters. The Northern Irish great clawed his way back after an early double bogey after beating Justin Rose on the first hole of a sudden death playoff. This is McIlroy's 11th attempt to complete the Grand Slam. No less than Tiger Woods welcomed him to golf's most elite, McIlroy being only the 6th player and first European to achieve the feat in the past 90 years. Woods made it to the list in 2000. Now in the NBA, the LA Clippers knocked the Golden State Warriors down to the play-in tournament bracket, 124-119 in overtime. The Clippers' 8th straight win secured 5th place in the Western Conference and a playoffs face-off against the Timberwolves. The play-in tournament begins Wednesday, Philippine time. With the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference and the Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference, winners will move on as 7th seeds. Now here at home, the NU Lady Bulldogs are all set for the Final Four in UAAP Season 87. The defending champs secured the twice-to-beat advantage after sweeping the Ateneo Blue Eagles Sunday. Queen Bulldog Bella Belen led the girls from Sampaloc with 16 points, plus 13 receptions and 10 digs. Up next for NU, the UST Golden Tigresses on Easter Sunday, April 27. And the UP Fighting Maroons stay in the race to the semis with a heart-stopping 5-set victory over the De La Salle University or De La Salle Lady Spikers. Joan Monares led the Diliman Bay squad with 16 points, along with 7 digs and 5 receptions. Now from the Terraflex to the hard court, the Converge Fiber Xers coasting to victory in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Fiber Xers take down the Blackwater Bossing Sunday, 111-80. Best player of the game, Shawnee Winston, strutted his stuff for Converge with 16 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. In the next game, the Phoenix Fuel Masters zapped the Meralco Bolts 109-97. Best player of the game, Richie Rivero, was on target from long range, knocking down all 4 of his triples to finish with 20 points. For the first time since 2019, the world's best cliff divers returned to El Nido, Palawan for the 16th Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The season opener saw male competitors leap from 27 meters, while 21 meters for women. Reigning 8-time world champion Rhiannon Ifland of Australia clinched the win in the women's division, while 10-time World Series champ Gary Hunt, who got a wild card for this stop, ruled the men's event.
I came in not so confident, I hadn't done the dives yet this season, so it was kind of taking a little bit of a gamble in the lead up to this event. Was like, okay, should I go to Florida, should I do the travel, or should I stay at home and work a bit on different techniques and things like that? And yeah, I'm super happy. I didn't know if I could do it, and I've done it.
My head was on the chopping block. If I didn't do well here, it was like goodbye season. So I didn't expect to win for sure. I was thinking a podium. A podium will probably be enough. I just took it out of their hands. They're going to have to invite me back now.
Nearly 200 items from the 2024 Paris Olympics and Paralympic Games are auctioned off in the French capital. The memorabilia include 5 Olympic torches used in the relay, mascots, and costumes used by performers in the opening ceremony. The items fetched more than 228,000 euros, or nearly $260,000 US. Money raised from the auction was handed over to 3 charities. And in entertainment, what a weekend for Filipino Army as BTS J-Hope returns to the Philippines for a 2-day concert. The sold-out Hope on the Stage tour in Manila was held at the SM Mall of Asia Arena. This is the first Asia stop in J-Hope's solo tour, which comes after his discharge from mandatory military service last October. J-Hope last came to the Philippines in 2017 when BTS held its The Wings tour. Now still to come, Auto Bliss in this year's Manila International Auto Show. We'll give you the highlights after the break. Stay with us. A local tech firm is helping doctors streamline the diagnostic process for their patients. DocMate AI aims to slash a typical turnaround from 4 days to just a 1-hour consultation process. In an interview on It's a Beautiful Day, One Life President Nino Namoco says the platform is designed to support the healthcare sector and provide assistance to those in remote areas.
We relatively decreased the time of every consultation because if you are going to be really thorough about the data of a patient, you're talking about hundreds of data points per patient when they get a consultation. This is why we use this, the DocMate AI is being used as a tool so that the doctors, aside from the speeding up the consultation process, it also makes sure that all the data of a patient is being considered. So there's no missed data.
Namoco also downplays concerns about artificial intelligence replacing humans in healthcare. He points out the one thing that makes human care unique and irreplaceable.
What we believe is in AI, it's just a tool.
Okay.
In healthcare, a big factor in healthcare is also the compassion. No?
Right.
So,
that is so true.
So AI, I think that can't be delivered by AI. Don't only in One Life we have this mantra: high tech, but still high touch. So this is what we believe, that compassion can't be given by the AI, but our doctors still can.
Engines roll at the 2025 Manila International Auto Show, where Billionario-backed auto brands showcase their newest and sleekest rides. The highlights from our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga.
This year's Manila International Auto Show, or MIA, celebrated a major milestone, turning the big 2-0. For 2 decades now, it's been the ultimate playground for car lovers, showcasing not just shiny displays, but also major local debuts of the hottest car models.
Over the years, MIAS has witnessed the unveiling of groundbreaking models and rise of the electric and the hybrid technologies, and the growth of the passions community.
And this year, it was all about the future. New energy vehicles took center stage, proof that the shift to sustainable mobility is speeding up. One of the biggest players on the floor was AC Mobility, powered by the Zobel de Ayala family. Their booths proudly showcased BYD and Kia vehicles, but it wasn't just about the cars. It was about the bigger picture of building the charging infrastructure to match.
With every new charge point installed, with every EV on the road, and every innovation in charging technology brings us closer to a cleaner, a smarter, and more efficient way of moving.
Over at the Auto Hub Group, car connoisseur Willie Titan rolled out luxury head-turners from Mini, Lotus, and Chinese EV brand Zeekr. His goal is to rev up excitement and sales in a highly competitive market.
You need to concentrate on the unique selling propositions of each and every car. Some of them are based on pricing, some of them are based on specs, some of them are based on how it looks.
But it wasn't just the new kids on the block making noise. MIAS also gave the spotlight to classic cars, custom builds, and the booming aftermarket scene. One standout was Concept One Wheels, eyeing the luxury market with their premium hoops.
We're targeting the European cars as well as high-end Japanese like Lexus. And so maganda yung product line niya for mga sedans, saka crossovers, and even sports cars like the Lotus.
From eco-conscious innovations to pure car eye candy, MIAS 2025 proved once again that when it comes to the road ahead, Filipino car culture is definitely in the driver's seat. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo, sitting in for Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. Good afternoon.